Hey boys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back, welcome back. It's been a while since, the last time I came on here just to talk, no inbox, no video essay, just me talking to you guys. And that's what the whole point of this channel was before, right? This was an outlet for me to share my thoughts on things and also somewhere we can have conversations, in the comments and share experiences. And today, I want to talk about work. Yes, jobs, okay? I know that scares the unemployed when they hear that word, and also if you are employed, that does scare you a little bit. Talking about work just sucks. Now, why am I talking about work on the channel when this is supposed to be a cozy getaway from the world? You're probably at home watching this, and the last thing you want to think about is work. But I want to talk about work because something happened and I came to this realization, and this is something I always knew, I've always heard this, but I didn't know why I didn't think I would experience something firsthand to make me want to preach this myself. But please listen to me when I say you do not owe your job anything. You don't. you just simply don't. Now, why am I saying this? I got slapped in the face hard at work today. Not literally, but I might as well have. I honestly would have much rather have gotten slapped in the face in real life than whatever I dealt with this morning at work. But I'm going to try to explain myself without giving too much detail. I work in the medical field, so I have to be really careful with what I say to not get into any more trouble legally, because they will send an assassin over if I say too much. But I like to think of myself as a good worker. I clock in on time always. I'm never late. They need me to come in early, I'm there. They need me to stay a little later, I can do it. I do what I'm told, okay? And I've been doing this for the better part of over a year at this current job. Well, this morning it got a little chaotic. Things were piling up more than usual. We have new people, so I'm also training while also trying to do my own work. And one thing after another, and one thing slips under my radar while I'm juggling 100 other things. And since God gives his hardest battles to his silliest clowns, the one thing that slips up was enough to cause a violation of sorts, a pretty big legal violation. And I'll say no more there. I'm starting to see the sniper laser get close to my window, so that's the most I'll say. But yeah, I did a bit of an oopsie, on accident of course, but I messed up. And when I came clean, because that's what I thought a good employee should do, I was talked down to, I was treated less than, I felt belittled, and I felt like shit. And the rest of the day, when I walked past my boss and my supervisor, I can just feel their stares. And I felt this tension, like I can tell they wanted to get rid of me because of this, but maybe this wasn't enough grounds to do it, but they just wished they could. Maybe they were plotting on a way to twist this to HR to convince them this is a big enough reason for them to let me go. And the rest of the day, it sucked. I didn't want to be there anymore. And that sucks because up until this point, no matter how stressful that job got, I could still say I liked my job. I didn't hate it, but I liked where I worked. But one mistake just soiled everything like that so easily. And that's why I wanted to come here and talk about work and how you and how we need to stop giving so much power to our jobs and so much control to our employers. Now, I'm not saying be a deadweight employee. I'm not saying go in late every day, do half the work, and disrespect your superiors. I'm not saying that. When I say you don't owe your job anything, I kind of mean that with an asterisk. Like you don't owe them necessarily, but you do owe it to yourself to be a good employee for them, to clock in on time, do good work, be kind at your job, Because if you don't do any of those things, they might just outright fire you, or you won't advance as fast as you should, or you won't be paid as well. You should be a good employee for yourself because you owe yourself the best, and if you have to grind in your job to do that, be my guest. But I think you should just leave it at that. But if you already don't like your job too much and they're asking more from you than your job description requires, like a lot more, don't feel bad to just tell them no. Like simple as that. Like genuinely, don't be taken advantage of if it's not what you want to do. If you like your job and you like your coworkers and you don't mind, feel free. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you already have your reservations and you already don't care, don't feel bad. Who are you gonna feel bad for? Your boss? The one assigning you the work you don't want? Are you gonna feel bad for corporate? HR? Like you're gonna feel bad for those guys? They don't know you. They don't know anything about you. You're merely just an employee ID to them. You don't realize a lot of this until you're either deep into the job and you've become jaded, or after you leave and you're telling people what working at your old job was like. But these are jobs that will have your job posting ready on LinkedIn on their job board minutes after you hand in your resignation. They are not going to think twice about losing you. Maybe the mom and pop shop if you're the only employee, yeah, but a corporate job, dude, they will forget your name in an hour after you leave. My old job at the airport, if you're an OG viewer of the channel, you've seen my video talking about awful jobs. But this job at the airport, I was clocking in at 3 in the morning, being screamed at by passengers, being yelled at by my boss for having quote unquote too much fun of a conversation with the coworker because we're supposed to appear professional and all business at this job. This was a job where I couldn't drink water or use the bathroom when I wanted because that would take up too much time and we needed to be efficient to escort the passengers. I couldn't even drink water without permission. Like, I'm laughing now, but at the time I took this seriously. And looking back, I'm just like, God, man, I would beat my own ass if I saw myself from the past just for being a pushover like that, for even tolerating that, you know? But yeah, dude, even that job, even though it was straight ass, I never clocked in late. I rarely called out unless I had to, you know, I was good even though they didn't really deserve it. And when I handed in my 2 weeks, they simply just said, all right, leave it on my desk and go to Terminal B. They didn't even want to know why I wanted to leave. They didn't want to know what they could do better to not lose an employee. I was just a name on the floor plan to them. So guys, fellas, if you're still listening and you don't like your job, don't feel bad. Call out. Seriously, if you're worried about, oh, what if they get slammed and there's one less person, it'll be more hectic. Who cares? You're telling me nobody called out while you worked and it made your shift harder one day, and what happened? They came back to work the next day and you moved on. You can do this yourself as well. If you had a bad day at work and as you're clocking out, your boss asks you to help out another 15 minutes, say, boss man, I'm sorry, I have somewhere I need to be. I won't be staying longer. Just lie. Like, say you're the only person in the family with the car and you have to pick someone up. Say you have an appointment. Just get yourself out of there. If your boss asks you to come in early, say, boss man, I planned my day around my schedule. I already have something to do before work. I won't be able to make it. What is he going to do? Penalize you? There are scheduled shifts for a reason. If your shift says 11:30 to 8, then brother, you have until 11:29 a.m. to absolutely do whatever you want. And God forbid they call you on your day off asking to come in because they need the extra hands. That's when you don't even talk on the phone. You just text them, hey, it's my scheduled day off. I'm already busy doing something. Again, don't feel bad. They have no grounds for penalizing you for not doing anything anytime you're not supposed to be on the clock. If you don't care about missing a day of work, or you have attendance points to spare and you just don't feel like going in, just stay home. Enjoy your day off. I'm sure you deserve it. Don't feel bad for leaving them for a day or two. Call out as many days as you can afford. If these jobs don't treat you right and they don't see you as a person with a life outside, then you do not owe them your life. Does that make sense? Like, put your energy to other things. Let work be your means for income and leave it at that. Don't emotionally invest yourself into your job. At my old call center job, we had 8 chances to call out before your final time would lead to termination. And it always reset at 9 weeks after the first call out in that sequence. Did that make sense? So I would literally plan for future call outs. Not even, this isn't including PTO requests. I would give myself 4-day weekends. I'd take off for a Tuesday just because I felt like it. And I did this up until I got to that 9th occurrence that led me to termination. And I just exploited that method for 2 years when I worked there because the job sucked. They treated me horribly, so why was I going to endure that? I saw something I can exploit in the system, and I took advantage because why am I going to stress myself at a job, a meaningless entry-level job paying me $12 an hour? Now, I don't know where this impression comes from, but I've been receiving comments that get the wrong idea about me. I've seen comments saying that, one, they assume I'm way younger than I really am, and 2, that I'm some privileged Gen Z kid that gives takes that everyday people can't relate to, and that I just don't want to work, and that I'm lazy, and that I'm out of touch. So I'm going to get ahead of the comments in this video if I do get any. I understand that some people genuinely can't afford to call out if they want to because they need money to live. I understand that some people have jobs where if they don't go, the whole operation falls apart, like at a mom and pop or something. But I think I already said this a few times, and all I'm trying to say is that if you're able to afford it, if you have attendance points to spare, if you don't care about losing money, feel free to do whatever you want with your job. Of course, and I'll repeat myself, do the bare minimum, clock in on time, actually get your tasks done so that you can be seen favorably and also just not get fired. Because if you just don't do anything, then yeah, you're just giving them fuel and more grounds to get rid of you. But don't slave away for a company that does not give a single lick about you. A company that'll post your position an hour after you quit. A company that is just a revolving door of employees. A company that monitors every minute you go to the bathroom. Or a company where you have to ask for permission to even drink water. That is not living. You do not owe your job anything. And the sooner you realize that, the more comfortable you'll be standing up for yourself at work. You'll be more comfortable rightfully telling your boss you won't do something that you already shouldn't be doing. And you'll just feel more secure. You won't feel like a pushover. And that is self-respect. Because really, man, these companies don't deserve it. But that's all I had to say. Thank you so much for watching, for hearing me ramble. I really needed this. Feel free to share your terrible work experience in the comments. I want to see people go trauma for trauma with these jobs. But yeah, thank you so much for all the support on the recent videos. Again, I'm still getting comments. I love reading them all. Send questions to the inbox to be in the video. The email is in the description. And yeah, take care and be well.